Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, wherever you are, and welcome to NerdTube. We have a very special, very quick as well, stream going on here because we've recently found out that Alex Kurtzman has signed a new deal. This is the same Alex Kurtzman who has basically created the current Star Trek universe that we are currently watching right now. So let me introduce you to my partner in crime, Cousin Cheeto. How you doing?
Doing good. How about yourself?
I'm good, man. I'm good. I just finished watching Fast and the Furious 9, and I'm really pumped. All right, so Alex Kurtzman, the news has come in. There is an article I want to read if you don't mind.
That's fine. Absolutely.
You want me to share this article on screen?
If you want, yeah.
Let's do it.
So while you're doing that, I'm just going to kind of give my 2 cents about what my thoughts are on this whole thing,
Yeah.
like overall. So a lot of people say that the current Trek, Alex Kurtzman. Hey,
Hello,
Tyler.
Tyler.
Alex Kurtzman is the reason for the current Trek, and I say, who cares? Because honestly, so Discovery season 1, okay, bad bag, but Next Generation season 1 was also a bad bag. DS9 season 1 was also a bad bag. Voyager season 1 also a bad bag. This is Trek.
Enterprise season 1.
Bad bag. I mean, I thought it was better than honestly some of the other ones, but bad bag. So everyone says, "Oh, this is all Kurtzman," blah blah blah. Lower Decks is like, I feel like if Kurtzman is the Kevin Feige of Star Trek, if he puts the right people in the right places, like with Lower Decks and everything like that, I feel like this is not going to be that big of a deal. I don't know
I
why
agree.
Trek fans hate him so much, and maybe there's really specific reasons why they hate him because he did something to a certain character. And I've kind of done my research on that. I mean, there's not really one thing that I can peg down that he did that the fan base hates him for. But at the same time, I liked Picard. I didn't love it, but I liked it. And it was a character study. It wasn't Trek. It was a character study of Jean-Luc Picard and towards the end of his life. Um, and Lower Decks, amazing. Star Trek Discovery season 3, amazing. What's it called? The Strange New Worlds
Prodigy.
coming out.
Yeah,
Strange New
yeah.
Worlds. It is looking really good. I, I don't feel like he deserves all this hate just yet. I mean, everyone says, "Oh, look at Discovery season 1." Yeah, well, everybody looks at Discovery season 1. Okay, flag on the play. But like season 2 was definitely better, and season 3 was much better. So I don't understand this
Season
hate.
3 was Star Trek, in my opinion. It was
It's
season was a Star Trek we deserved
Yeah, and
from
that's what I'm saying.
Discovery.
Like, I feel like Kurtzman needs to put the right people in the right place, like he did with Lower Decks. Because honestly, I love Lower Decks. I love, 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 love Lower Decks. So anyway, okay,
Likewise.
go ahead, Sam. Go. That was kind of my overall thoughts on the whole thing, and I know I'm going to get crucified by the Kurtzman crucifiers, but I'll hang right there next to him, burning on the pike.
I mean, before I start reading this article, I just want to say that I'm not upset by this at all. You know, we're getting an abundance of Star Trek coming from this guy. Not all of it is going to hit the mark, and with Star Trek in general, usually the first season or so is like finding its feet, getting some feedback, and then working on that feedback and basically creating what we all love, which is quality Star Trek. Somebody was always going to have to take the mantle and run with it, and I'm fine with Alex Kurtzman doing it. And if he's shit and he's producing crap stuff, then he'll be on his ass because at the end of the day, you know, Star Trek is a massive franchise, and the people who make it and the people who cash in on it, they want to cash on it for as long as possible. And on top of that, we are getting something like Prodigy, which I'm very excited for,
Yeah, that's
even though it's
another one.
catered, which is catered for pardon the pun, the next generation of fans. Yeah, because you know a lot of Star Trek is basically for people like us, you know, middle-aged fuckers, you know, who are reminiscing of the glory days, and we need Star Trek to continue after us, and that's why I'm very happy with Prodigy. You know, I hope it ends up being a very, very good show. I think it's going to appeal to young and old, and I can't wait for that alone. So let's read this little article I found here. This is from the New York Times by Nicole Sperling. Like so many other writers directors, Alex Kurtzman grew up worshipping film, but is he adaptable? And in the streaming era, that is very lucrative trait. Mr. Kurtzman, the one-time writer of the Transformers movies and the director of 2017's The Mummy, well, that's not too great, recently renegotiated. Well, you can't have a hit all the time. Recently renegotiated his deal at CBS Studios into one of the richest there. Under the $160 million, 5.5-year agreement, he will continue to shepherd the growing Star Trek television universe for Viacom CBS Paramount Plus streaming platform. He will also create shows, including a limited series based on The Man Who Fell to Earth. I've heard of that before, by the way. Which he will direct for Showtime, and the long-awaited adaptation of Michael Chabon's Pulitzer Prize-winning novel, The Amazing Adventures of Cavalier and Clay. That limited series is likely to be sold to an outside streaming service. Before I continue, let me see what Shredder is saying. Hi guys, waiting for my bus home. Kurtzman is absolute not worth it though. Picard and Discovery were bloody terrible. I keep telling Shredder to watch season 3 for fuck's sake. Watch season 3. Yes, I agree with you on Picard, but watch season 3 of fucking Discovery. It's great. It's great. I like season 3 of Discovery. I thought they got back on track.
And sometimes when you've made up your mind about something and you lose a fan forever, and I mean that's fine. It's a fan's prerogative to be lost forever. But I agree with you, Zam. Season 3, if people hated season 1 and 2, they need to watch season 3.
Yeah, but they got their shit together with season 3, as far as I'm concerned. I mean, honestly, I totally agree. Season 1 and 2 was a graft, to watch that shit, and I only put up with it because it's fucking Star Trek. But they really got their shit together with season 3, and the only reason I have an issue with season 3 is because it's still the Michael Burnham show. I'm hoping that will change with season 4, and we got additional characters like Captain Pike, who obviously has been around since the beginning, but we got those additional characters now, and they're going to be having their own show soon. I mean, there's a lot to good come from this. It started off a bit shitty, but honestly, I do feel that a lot of good is going to be coming from this. Anyway, Mr. Kurtzman's deal is the latest in a string intended to give prolific producers like Shonda Rhimes and Ryan Murphy for Netflix and Jordan Peele with Amazon Studios free reign to create content that can feed insatiable consumer appetites and hopefully boost subscriptions for streaming. This one puts the ambitions of CBS Studios, the production arm of the network and channels under the Viacom CBS umbrella, squarely in the hands of the 47-year-old Kurtzman. Now, what's he saying?
Oh,
only one positive.
He's just being a negative Nancy. I mean,
What's the Mr. Plinkett review?
I don't know. It's probably some review trashing it or something like that. I mean, I would rather watch Picard 1,000 times than watch the first season of Star Trek: The Next Generation 1,000 times. Honest to God, truth. So
holy shit!
I would rather watch
spectrums there.
I would rather watch the entire first season of Picard than watch the entire original series again.
Well, there's actually more to this. From the first meeting I had with Alex, it was so obvious to me that he's our future. George Cheeks, the president and chief executive of CBS, said in an interview, the guy can develop for broadcast. He can develop for premium streaming, broad streaming. He understands the business. He's got tremendous empathy. He's creatively nimble. When you make these investments, Mr. Cheeks continued, you need to know that the talent can actually deliver multiple projects at the same time across multiple platforms. The road ahead won't be easy for Viacom CBS. Its fledgling Paramount Plus was a late entry into streaming and is essentially a rebranded and expanded version of CBS All Access. The company promotes the service news and live sports, including National Football League, among with a mountain of movies. A Quiet Place 2 debuted on July the 13th. But Paramount Plus, in combination with smaller Showtime streaming offering, had just 36 million subscribers as of May. Just 36 million, by the way. I mean, apparently that's shit. But 36 million is 36 fucking million people paying you.
Here's the thing: CBS All Access actually was one of the first. I mean, like the WWE Network. The WWE Network was one of the, besides Netflix, was one of the first streaming services available. Like, I mean, besides obviously Netflix. Like,
Jesus.
so CBS All Access was also, I mean, it was in there way before Disney Plus, HBO Max, any of that stuff. So
Michael Bay was hugely successful with Transformer movies. Doesn't mean they were any good. But the first one was okay.
yeah, I
But I
like the
agree
first
with
one.
you. Yeah, but I agree with you there. But this is not the correlation I want to make. Um,
But here, like,
Me and Cheetah are on different spectrums regarding Picard. We both agree that Discovery was shit at the first two seasons, but like I said, we said before, you need to watch the next season. We're getting a spin-off show now with Strange New Worlds. Lower Decks is brilliant, by the way. People need to stop sleeping on that. Watch fucking Lower Decks. And after that, we're going to be getting Prodigy 2. There is something for everybody right now, and I'm loving it. A smorgasbord of Star Trek. How can we complain?
and I mean, if you don't like it, then yeah, don't watch it. But I mean, for them to blanket just sit there and say everything is garbage, I take like, not offense, but I take umbrage with that, because it's like that's not possible that everything they've done out of all the shows we've gotten so far, which I think is what we're going on 4 or 5. I mean, oh wow, I'd rather watch Jericho versus Gage match
I'm
than
with
any.
him on that. I'll be honest with you. Look, I personally thought Picard wasn't great, but once again, Shredder, the first season of all Star Treks tend to be, apart from maybe Lower Decks and the original series, it tends to be shit. Yeah, so let's not go too hard on that. And even the second season doesn't necessarily find its feet. Usually, Star Trek finds its feet by the third season, in my opinion. And
I don't even know if I don't even
Discovery,
know if Next Generation found its footing in the second season. Like Next
yeah, it
Generation.
didn't. The only thing, the good thing about the second season of TNG was Riker getting a beard, But
And the Borg showing up. That's about it.
yes, but it really found its feet by the third season. That's when it started giving more of the supporting cast its time to shine and stuff like that. So anyway, while it hopes to reach 65 million to 75 million global subscribers by 2024, that's still a far cry from Netflix worldwide total of almost like 210 million and nearly 104 million for Disney Plus. Even NBC Universal announced on Thursday they had 54 million signups on its Peacock streaming service thanks to an Olympic push. And with consolidation mania consuming Hollywood, many analysts are not confident with the Viacom CBS will be able to continue to compete with larger companies on its own. I think it's hard to imagine any of these companies going it alone. I think they are too small, said Richard Greenfield, an analysis at Lightshed Partners. The challenge, whether it's Peacock, Paramount Plus, Disney Plus, or Hulu, is that all of these companies are still conflicted over what to do. So what do they put there on their linear TV, and what do they put in a movie theater, and what do they put on the streaming? Netflix, Amazon, Apple do not have that debate every day. He added, all the assets go into one thing here, and all the assets go into one thing here. They have to balance, and that makes all their streaming services. Oh my god, I can never say this word.
Suboptimal.
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 Yeah.
Suboptimal.
All right. So I mean,
Yes.
yeah, I think the rest of that is just
Suboptimal. Suboptimal.
But yeah, I mean, I really feel like Star Trek in the next year or two is really going to find its footing. Is Star Trek okay? Here's the thing: expectations. Is Star
Suboptimal.
Trek ever going to? You're still trying to say it, aren't you?
Suboptimal. Yeah, suboptimal. Suboptimal.
Here's the
Yeah,
thing
go
with
on.
Star Trek.
Okay.
It's never going to be as big as Star Wars or Disney or Marvel or anything like that. I'm sorry. It's never going to be that big because it's a totally different ballgame. Would I love it to be? Yes, but it's never going to be that big. So the Star Trek universe is never going to be the MCU. But let's not forget that the Star Trek universe was the original MCU. They were doing crossovers and they were doing all that other stuff that the MCU, the MCU stuff, like it just blows. Star Trek is very innovative, and it doesn't get the credit it deserves for being as innovative as it is. I mean, or as progressive as it is. And I understand, like, people have issues with the current product and stuff like that. I don't know. Measure of a Man. Measure of a Man.
Regarding the MCU, yeah, regarding the MCU, I think we're on the same wavelength here. I mean, it wasn't until Captain America and the Winter Soldier did the MCU start getting good. You know, it really started. I mean, obviously you had that big event with Avengers Assemble, but it really only started getting good as like when it comes to the individual films until Winter Soldier, and that was several years into the MCU. I mean, the sequels to Iron Man were not that good as the original. Even Captain America: First Avenger wasn't that great. The first four film wasn't that great.
I mean, they were all average on par movies.
Yeah.
So I mean, yeah, like Avengers was their first standout. And you're right. Until the Winter Soldier came along, that was really the first, like, since the original Iron Man, that was the first big movie. You know, like, there was
Yeah.
because, like, if you look at the most popular movies, Iron Man, Avengers, and then like the next one's Winter Soldier, and then after that it just took off. Like, I mean, Avengers: Age of Ultron and all that other stuff. I mean, it just was huge. Measure of a Man was season 2, episode 9. It's a good episode, but that doesn't make the season great. Like, you can have one good episode and that doesn't make a whole season great.
What's Measure of a Man again?
That's the episode where they were arguing for rights for Data to being a being
Oh,
sentient.
yes, that was very good.
It was a good episode, and I'm not, as I said, there was good episodes in the first season. I believe, what was that? What was the episode in season 1 that was really good? It's the one where they went to the planet where they kidnapped Tasha Yar. That I was joking. That's like the most racist episode of like any Star Trek ever.
Yeah, I know.
Joke.
I know. that episode makes me cringe still to this day.
I know. It's
anyway. Those corporate considerations don't seem to bother Mr. Kurtzman. Rather than becoming the diminished state of movies or anguishing over the lack of viable buyers as the market shrinks, he said he was finding the current climate to be creatively invigorating, I can say that one, and remarkably fluid. Fair enough. Look at him. Look at him. He looks like a nerd who's made money. Yeah,
he does. He's like, I'm going to get my guacamole spread on my toast.
He looks like a Will Wheaton variant.
He's the Will Wheaton variant. That's hilarious. He does look like a Will Wheaton variant.
I do believe that the line between movies and television is gone now, and that to me is a tremendous opportunity. He said in an interview, for me and for the showrunners like me, we can tell stories in a new way. We're not limited by narrow definition of how you tell a story. Something must be told in 10 hours or something must be told in 2 hours.
I definitely, you don't have to read the rest of that.
No, go on.
I really agree with him though, because here's the thing. It's like here's the problem with a lot of the CW shows is that they've got this like locked in amount of episodes, and it feels like that some of their stories could be told in 10 episodes and some of their stories could be told in like 15 episodes. But it's like it's really sad when it's just like, you have this really good story, but then it gets drawn out forever and a day, and then it becomes like just this hot mess.
I agree. I do feel at the beginning of Discovery, they fucked up big time. I mean, what they did with the Klingons and how they've managed to not intertwine this shit with what Enterprise had set up with the changing of the Klingons to go alongside the original series. That sort of shit really fucking pissed me off. And with season 3 of Discovery, it felt very much a clean slate, which is why they threw him in the future. And it was the right thing to fucking do, because I'm fed up of fucking prequels. I'm honestly fed up of it. We need to go ahead with time. And I'm very happy with that. It was the right thing they did, in my opinion. What's Shredder got to say now? Modern Trek sadly makes me think of TNG and Kelvin movies, which is not good. Now, there are rumors, by the way, that they do want to do a Kelvin for Star Trek, Star Trek 4 because now Chris Hemsworth is a huge movie star. They want to bring him back, but he is Kurt's dad in the Kelvin universe, and they want to do some sort of time traveling shenanigans, which is possible because we had that with the first of the Kelvin movies. So yeah, and I'm sure that if they can get something going with this new batch of Star Trek, I'm sure a movie from the original time can come along. And also, by the way, there's still the possibility of a Section 31 TV show as well down the line.
Which
Oh my
I
god, it's just
honestly feel that what? He's the evolved Pokemon of Paul Feig.
I don't know what he means.
Maybe like the way he looks. I don't know. I'm not all that sold on this whole Chris Hemsworth, Kirk's dad, and Star Trek 4. It might. I just, what? Go back in time and get some whales and then bring them back. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. But yeah, I don't. I really feel like the Kelvin thing just needs to go. There are great points. There are great parts of the Kelvin timeline, but I feel like nobody wants it. Like nobody's really that interested in it anymore. We are more interested in what's going on Paramount Plus right now, and honestly, if they want to make movies on Paramount Plus, or based on characters from Paramount Plus, like if they want to do a I don't want to say a Discovery movie, but maybe like a Captain Kim movie, or like bringing characters back from the younger characters that were in the original Star Trek, or the Voyager and DS9, like bringing those ones back and maybe doing
those guys are old now though, because
I know they're old, but no, I'm saying like in this
in
time.
4 years in 4 years it will be 30 years since Voyager fucking came out.
I know, that's what I'm saying. But you need to have like a Captain Kim or an Admiral Kim or something like that. You know what I mean? Like
I want to see O'Brien. O'Brien for me would be ideal. Cole Meany is an awesome actor, and I'd love to see him. Avery Brooks, I've always wanted the film where apparently all the captains from all the shows, they come together to save Cisco from that thingy he's in.
That's a book, and especially with Shatner. That's a terrible. Maybe if you got Pine to do it, I might be sold. But like Shatner, no. Shatner's he's 90. Like,
yeah, of course, and Patrick Stewart is 80.
Yeah, like that's what I'm like, dude. Like,
yeah, fair enough. But yeah, I'm happy that we're getting a ton of Star Trek, more to come. At one point, there will be 5 Star Trek shows. It's going to be amazing. It's going to be absolutely amazing. I don't know how what legs Picard has, if they can continue Picard without Patrick Stewart. Do you think they could do that?
I feel like if they had the opportunity to do that, they should have done it at the end of the first season. Like,
they can still create something to do it. I mean, it's not like it's not possible to write a scenario.
I know, but I mean, they had the perfect opportunity to recast right at the beginning of the first season.
Tom Hardy's still around?
Huh?
Tom Hardy, he's still around.
Oh yeah.
Whether he wants to do television shows or not, but
if they throw enough money at him, he'll do it.
Yeah, I guess, and I think people would love to see him involved in Star Trek. You know what? By the way, I really want to mention this before I forget. I really, really, really want Mark Hamill to be on Lower Decks, doing the voice on Lower Decks. That needs to fucking happen. Make it so. Yeah, because I want that shit to happen so fucking badly. I love the fucking crossovers between Star Trek and Star Wars, with certain particular characters like Simon Pegg. He played that fucking alien in
Star Wars?
Force Awakens.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously he's in the Kelvin universe as Scotty. So I love all, and what the most prominent one is George Takei. He's done voice work in Clone Wars, and we all fucking know who he is in in Star Trek. Yeah. So Harry Kim after 30 years never managed to get promoted yet. That's a long running gag now.
He's still an ensign. Forever ensign.
He's going
to be Ensign Kim still. Every time he gets promoted, he gets depromoted, or he gets demoted.
and that should be canon. Yeah, fair enough.
Or maybe after he got home from Voyager, he retired from Starfleet, so he never like made it beyond ensign for after 7 years. God.
Who's around still from Enterprise? Maybe they can do something from that and bring them ahead in time. Like, I would love to see Jolene Ballock back.
I mean, all of them are still around. I mean, Trip Tucker, the guy who played Reed.
He's dead.
Who is?
No, the character is dead.
Oh, well, but they could have pulled him out of time a millisecond before he died.
Yeah, fair enough.
I mean, you can do shit like that.
Yeah, I guess. But yeah, so
Mr. Kurtzman, make it happen.
Yeah, more Star Trek to come. I'm not. I just want people to understand. I'm not like praising Kurtzman. I think I'm in love with the guy, and I want him. I think everything he does is the Midas touch. But I don't hate on him either.
Yeah,
you know, I don't hate on this guy. Like, he's trying at least.
I hate the fact that everybody's hating on him. That's the big thing. It's like everybody's hating on him, and I'm like, why? Like, I don't understand.
Exactly, especially after you saw the repair job with season 3 of Discovery. I think that alone deserves some praise. The fact that we're also getting a spin-off on Pike is like, nobody asked for this, but you think to yourself, yeah, this is great. I actually want this.
I think the actor for Pike sells that. That's what I want. The actor for that sells it.
Yeah. And so all of that. So and you got Mystique as well playing the number 1. I think she'd be playing Major Barrett's character from the original series. That's what the rumors are. But she'll be playing number 1. So it's just, there's so much to come, and let's just be happy that we're getting lots of Star Trek. It's very hard to be original and not be original Star Trek and not be mundane and boring and by the numbers. Is, you know, it's a fine line to cross, you know, to tread and all of this shit. So just be happy that we're getting so much more. I mean, I'm, like I said, I just could not wait for Prodigy, and that's not even meant for someone like me, meant for fucking kids. I'm really looking forward to that one. I feel that's going to be a very, very inspirational show, in my opinion. It's going to help. I really want kids to be reaching for the stars when they watch that show, and I hope it delivers. And you know, we're getting Janeway back as well. You know, even though it's a different Janeway, we're getting her back. I know you're not the biggest fan of Voyager, but still, you know, we are getting some, you know, memorable characters back, and I can't complain. So yeah, so we're very much on board with this. I hope you guys are too. Let us know what you think. You got anything more to say, Bob?
Nope. I can't wait for the hate to come to me.
I don't think so. I think there's going to be a lot of people who are in our boat regarding this, who don't see what the fuss is regarding all the negativity, and if anything, are just keeping our fingers crossed and hoping, you know, that we get more Star Trek of various types. And like I said, if you haven't seen Lower Decks, watch it. We've got a couple of shows yet to come, and I believe Strange New Worlds has already finished filming. It's on post-production.
Or at least they're close.
Although they finished filming, I believe, but it's all post-production now, so it's all like doing all the special effects and shit like that, I guess. So so they're doing all of that. And we're getting a new season of Lower Decks in a couple of weeks, which is going to be fun.
Yeah.
Okay, first of all, I'd rather have a series set 30 years or so after Nemesis, ignore Kurtzman Supernova, and have a decent writing stuff. Yeah, I agree. I would love to see that too. I have no problem with that. 30 years after Nemesis is a good period. I have no problem with that. And we've got 10 years after Nemesis, I believe, with Lower Decks. Is that correct?
I think it's like 5, but more or less.
So we've got something along those lines. So yeah, Troy Stewart even. I'm tired of the Phantom Menace hating everything. I'm not going to go too much into this, but yes, I agree. They hate everything because they are hateful people, and that's what you have to expect from hateful people. And it's funny because everything they hate about Star Trek, of the current Star Trek, if the old Star Treks were made today, they would hate on that too for being woke and all that fucking bollocks. So yeah, fuck them in the A. So yeah, let's wrap this up. Nobody likes the Phantom Menace, not even the Phantom Menace. Yes, I agree. I'm glad you know about the Phantom Menace, Shredder. It's good to know. We can talk about that another day. But yeah, we're on board on this very much. So Star Trek galore. Can't get enough of it. You know, I got my Academy shirt on for this stuff. So bring it on. Lower Decks coming out soon. Can't wait for that. Thank you very much for watching, by the way, everyone. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, comment on NerdTube. We are the greatest YouTube channel you've never heard of. Take care, live long and prosper. Bye bye.